Yes, what's going on, everybody? It's road trip time. This is United Stand. I'm Adam. Weekend has gone. Winning the bag v Spurs. Now I'm driving all the way to Italy to watch United play Atalanta as I go through a dark tunnel. Perfect, inopportune moment. And I'm back out again. There I am. Okay, yes, no, I'm not driving to Italy. No. Shafted. Even depends how you want to look at it. I'm not happy with the way the ticket and allocation goes about with away games for Europe at the moment for the football club. All too willing to go to Atalanta. I booked my flights, booked my hotel, and then not getting a ticket because they've changed the whole ticketing scheme. Another gripe of mine with the football club, but that's that. Let's move on from that. The debate after the Spurs game was all there. You listened to the show on Sunday, everyone had their points to put across. The system was the top of subject in terms of formation. All he said in his presser, he thought it was more of a performance-based result rather than the system. We played better. It wasn't so much the system and the formation, it was the performance, all he says in his press conference. Kind of disagree. I thought the performance was okay. I thought we were just better than a poor Spurs team. That's what I seen. And for me, this system does work for this team, but only part of it, and this is the balancing act. That's what we were saying on Sunday. Yeah, it's alright playing the 3-4-3, adapting it to 3-5-2, whichever way you want to do it. Certain players don't fit that system, and that's all his problem to deal with now. We're not looking like there's going to be a manager change anytime soon at the football club. I'm just going to have to make my peace with that, I think, and we've got Ole till the end of the season, it would seem, unless we have an absolute catastrophe this week. This is the last international break, so really, if anything was going to happen managerial wise, I think it's either this week between the City and Atalanta games or never. It now does look like, though, that Antonio Conte has obviously been taken off the market. Well, he's been taken off the market, simple as that. Looks like our result against Spurs pushed that managerial change one way when it was expected to go the other. Kind of a weird weekend with that and how that all panned out, but I wasn't even thinking along them terms. It's like United waited for the Spurs game knowing that if we got that result, that would maybe push them in the Conte direction, and therefore take him off the market. No one shouting out for Conte to come in, and they could probably quash the whole new manager argument because there's no one else really available. Zidane wants the France job. Ten Hag, well, looks like Ajax are blacklisting United and don't want anything to do with us, and he's quite happy where he is. So who is available to replace Ole? Not much. People would say anybody would be better right now, but let's be honest, we have to make sure that the next appointment, if there is going to be one, is the right one. So that added to that, let's just tuck that underneath the desk at the moment and start talking football, because that's all we've got. I've sort of given up hope on anything else happening anywhere else in terms of managerial change or anything like that. So now we have to look at it and go with what we've got. That's where we're at with it, isn't it? Atalanta today, tough game. A lot of people going into this arrogantly again. It's like even the panel on Sunday, Mark, Ricky and Beth, confident that we're going to get, well, I wouldn't say confident, but thinking we get the win. I don't see it that way, to be honest. I know we can beat them. We've obviously beat them before. But I'm not taking Atalanta lightly with the players that they could have coming back. Home advantage, and we know what we're like away from home in Europe. It's not great, is it? Let's be honest. With crowds and biased crowds, we've failed so far. I mean, we couldn't even beat Young Boys. I'm not going to say that was a daunting stadium to play in, but we failed there against a weaker team than what we're playing tonight. So let's not take Atalanta lightly, shall we? Because they will tear us apart like they did in that first half. They've got quality operators that can do that. So, yeah, I'm looking at it now, though, on United's side of it. Do we go with that 3-4-3/3-5-2, 5-3-2, whichever way you want to call it? It is a very adaptable formation. I think a lot of people got mixed up when it looked like I was disagreeing with Ricky last night. When he said, look how Chelsea do it and look where they are and look the amount of goals. It's not about all the forward players. But my point was, we've got an abundance of forward players, which will kick up a stink because they can't fit into this formation. then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to handle that problem, which I don't think he will and be able to. And therefore, the point of saying, look what Chelsea are doing, like Ricky said, falls into complete insignificance because we haven't got Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea's squad. So saying it works for Chelsea is completely irrelevant because we're United and we've got Solskjaer and his merry men in charge of our team and our squad. So yeah, you can say what you want. Playing the formation, and straight away, Ollie pretty much backed me up in the press conference by saying it wasn't about the formation, it was the performance. So that says to me, really, he's not 100% on his formation. The whole talk about this squad, he's able to play multiple systems and formations. Well, it's a load of crap because he's had one formation all season, which had us in 8th. He changed it up for Spurs because of the stink that was kicked up. And now we look, well, I won't even say respectable. We're still behind West Ham, City, Liverpool and Chelsea, obviously 8 points behind Chelsea, and they're coming up soon as well. So this whole, let's just play this formation, it's going to be miles better, it doesn't work like that. We know we have players that are going to suit this, and right now in the situation we're in, this formation suits us better. Can we adapt it? Can we make it work for everyone else? We will see. He don't give anything away in the press conference in terms of how he's going to play it tonight. And you know what? Beth was making the point on the Sunday show saying, look, I think he'll stick with the 3-5-2 until he's pretty safe, and then he will go back to the 4-2-3-1, which he could well do. If he does, that brings in everyone else again, all the forward players, the players that Ricky doesn't like, the players that Beth does like. That is the fan base at the moment. Everyone's got their opinion. I'm not having it that because Marcus Rashford and Mason Greenwood didn't play, we played so much better. It wasn't a case of that. The fact that Ollie in his press conference said we've got wingers in this team is a complete lie, because we haven't. We've got one, which is Jadon Sancho. Does he fit into the system? Can we get him in? Does Pogba come back in because it is the one game he can play before the international break? How does Pogba fit in this system? These are the problems we've got, and tonight I think we're going to get a little bit of a taster of how he's probably going to line up against City. I do feel like he is going to go with that 3-5-2 against City. I think it works better for him, and I do feel like he will feel a lot safer defensively, which is a big concern again, because he cannot afford another absolute... He can't afford another thrashing from a big rival like Liverpool. So I do feel like that performance against Spurs is going to force his hand into a 3-5-2 formation, and that's what we're going to get. It's vital we get the win tonight, to be honest. It takes all the pressure off him. If we're looking at it with Ollie in charge, which I'm going to have to talk like, because that's the way it's going. With Ollie in charge, he needs to win this game for me. Forget the draws. And people were saying, I think it was Ricky who said, we only need a couple of draws away from home. He's right. We do only need a couple of draws, because I think we will beat Young Boys at home. But I just don't want us to go into the game with the draw gets us through attitude, because that's when it will all unravel and we will end up failing. So for me tonight, it's got to be an attitude of the same as Spurs. The energy has to be the same. We have to battle for every ball exactly the same. If we match up with Atalanta in terms of the work ethic and the pressing and everything on that side of the game, then we'll be fine. Our players should come to the fore like they did against Spurs, and we should win the game comfortably. Not comfortably. I said that completely wrong there. It's going to be a tight game, pretty much like it was at Old Trafford, but in a different way in terms of the scoreline. I don't see it being loads of goals, this one. I see it being a bit tighter defensively, and I see it being like a 1-0, 2-1 sort of win. Could be either way. I do feel like, and no one spoke about this already, I'm definitely not on the weekend show, that Atalanta need to win this game. A draw is no good for them. They need to win this game, because like Ollie said before, and one thing he is right about in what he says, is the Champions League, you've got to win your own games. You've got every chance then of snatching that little bit of a result away from home, and that's what gets you top of the group. So Atalanta, they're going out for a win today. Does that play into this system of counter-attack with the 3-5-2? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But it depends on the personnel, because I don't think Cavani's going to play, so it's either Greenwood or Rashford. Martial can't even get in the squad. So, and a lot of people have said it'd be interesting to see Martial up front. And you know what? I'm intrigued to see all of them work in this system, the forwards. Because sooner or later, someone's got to go. Someone has to be transferred out or left or basically loaned out or whatever it may be. But one of Martial, Rashford or Greenwood, I feel, will have to go for this system if it is to stay. That's why I think in time, like Beth said, Ollie probably will change it and revert back, because he does have favourites. He does like to play Rashford every game, and he's not done that for the first time. It's the first time I've seen him sub Ronaldo off and Bruno off in a game where he's in control of it. It was easy to make them substitutions, let's say, against Spurs, Ronaldo and Bruno. But this game tonight now, we have to look at it and go, okay, Cavani's out, who's going to go up there? And I think the person who plays tonight, either Rashford or Greenwood, will be the telltale sign of who goes forward with this formation if he sticks with it. And that will be the go-to man to partner Ronaldo when, obviously, Cavani isn't fit. Because Cavani is obviously number one. He's bigged him up now for his training ethic and everything like that. We've seen that. That was the best training session in his 3 years at Manchester United that Cavani pulled out the bag. So, yeah, looking at that, I think I'm going to put my money on Rashford being in the front two if he goes with this formation. And it's going to be key to exactly how he goes. I'm just doing a little bit of a turn here, people. Safety first. Yeah, so for me, I see Rashford partnering Ronaldo, Bruno behind. There's your three up top. Very similar midfield. I don't see Pogba coming in. I think he's trying to move away from Pogba in a way. The fact that he's not been starting him in these big games, and they have been big games, Champions League nights, Liverpool at home, Pogba doesn't play. That has been absolutely key to how I think Ollie is thinking going forward. Because obviously he's got to think that he's in a long-term plan. Many United fans, myself, didn't think so. But for me, I just feel like Pogba isn't part of the plan now, and I think he's trying to move away from him. So I don't see Pogba playing. I really don't. I think he could play in that role, though. I think he'd probably ideal that Pogba was in there. With that formation, he gets a bit more protection with three centre-backs. And he will play another defensive midfielder next to him. So maybe he gets a bit more freedom. I'd have preferred Donny and Matic. But this is Ollie, we don't know. Guys, let me think. Get your score predictions in. I'm going with 1-1 tonight. That's my score prediction for the game. I do feel like United will have enough to hold out against Atalanta. But I am not taking them for granted one bit. I think it's going to be a tricky night and a nervous night for United tonight. Guys, obviously, subscribe to United Stand. Thank you for all your comments as usual, people. Even the bad ones, they're good as well. Like the video, get your comments in below. And hopefully we're celebrating a fan vlog after the game with United, pretty much confirming Champions League knockout football, because that's what a win would do. But I see it being a draw. See you later, people. Bye-bye.